I'm a refugee. Okay, don't be alarmed. I'm not here to take your job or to suck up your health services or to destroy the country we call America. No, I'm just here because my family had no choice but to be here. It all started with my father and his homeland of Laos. Yes, I'm Laotian, Lao. Although at first look, many people have mistaken me for being Guatemalan. Laos is a landlocked country in Southeast Asia, surrounded by China and Burma to the north, Cambodia to the south, and squeezed between more well-known Vietnam and Thailand. The country of Laos has 49 different ethnic groups, all with their own diverse language and culture. Now my father, his name is Ova Saopeng. He is descended from the first people in that region. They are known as the Khmu, the indigenous people of Laos. They are simple people who live off the land. My father lived in a forest village in Seno Savannah Khet, the southern province, and there he grew up farming rice as the youngest child of 3 children. When he was 8 years old, his parents died of unknown illnesses, leaving him and his siblings to be raised by his aunt. When he was 12 years old, the Royal Lao Army recruited him to fight in the Laotian Civil War. Now, most Americans know that war as the Viet Nam War. People in Vietnam call it the American War. Whatever lens you look at it, in the end, war is war, and it has no winners. The war spilled over from Vietnam to Laos and even into Cambodia. And for many people, when the war knocks on your doorsteps, at some point, you have to choose a side. My father chose the Royal Lao Army, who were backed by the clandestine American military to fend off the spread of communism. He heard from other villagers about the promises of adventure and money and opportunity that await the military life. So, he left the farm to pursue a military career. Years later, after training and moving up in the ranks, he met my mother. And when he was stationed in the city of Savannah Khet, he fell in love, courted her, and they married. They had me in 1973, and my sister 3 years later. Now, during those momentous lifetime events, my father would be in and out of town, going on trainings or missions, while my mother leaned on her family for support and guidance. She had a big family, being a middle child with 5 other siblings. She kept busy working as an administrator for the local government office. I can only imagine how much they must have longed for each other. By 1975, the communists won. America left. The new government took over, and my father was taken in a re-education camp where he was tortured and brainwashed. When they sent him back to his hometown, he knew he couldn't live in an oppressive government. So he made an escape plan. One day he said he was going to go fishing. He went and never came back. He escaped across the Mekong River to Thailand on his own, leaving me, my sister, and my mom pregnant with my soon-to-be youngest sister. My mother knew it. She knew he was planning to escape. My mother knew the stakes, and that if she attempted to go with him at that time, it would have been a disaster. They had to have patience. But they missed each other. He missed us, his wife, his children. How could a man leave his family? How could a man live without his family? So, he devised another escape plan. He sent coded messages to my mom through trusted friends and family. He sent word that he was safe in a refugee camp in Thailand, but that he wanted us to join him. Now, during this time, many other people were trying to escape Laos, and in their attempt, dying in the river or jungles, being taken advantage of by pirates, women raped, children sold off. You name every vile wartime shit that people do to each other, it happened. So in the dead of night, my mother grabs me in one hand. I'm 4 years old. My sister in the other. She's 2 years old. And at 7 months pregnant, my mother leads us to the riverbank. There waiting for us are 6 men and a longboat. Men whom my mother entrusted our lives with. Men whom my dad put trust in. My parents risked it all. So we stepped on the boat and they started to paddle across the Mekong River. Suddenly, a communist search boat spots us and begins to call out for us to turn around. The next thing you know, they start to shoot. The men paddle fast as they can. Instinctually, my mother drapes her body over my sister and me. Bullets are zooming by, gurgling up river water. The men do not stop. They paddle and paddle and paddle. Keep our distance, keep our distance. Keep on paddling. Don't stop. Don't stop. Our hearts must have been racing as fast as they were paddling. Fortunately, we kept our distance and we made it to Thailand shore. And there in Thailand, we reunited with my father at the refugee camp in Ubon, Thailand. We left Laos forever. Life in the Ubon refugee camp had people from different villages crammed together living in bamboo huts. There were thousands and thousands of people. Food and shelter were basic, and my family survived by making friends with other families from our village. We would look out for each other. But everyone was on hold. We spent a year in the camps there, and my youngest sister was born in 1979. That same year, my parents went in for their interview, and they were asked where in the United States they wanted to go. My mother told them a place where the climate is like Laos, because she breaks out in rashes in cold climates. So we were sent to the state of Hawaii. My first view of America was the crashing white waves on the shores of Hawaii. I was 5 years old. I was on a Boeing 747 jumbo jet peering out of the window. In my hand, I held a little toy jet that the flight attendant had given me as a gift. I remember telling my mom as I surveyed the earth below, Matt, look at the clouds on the ground. And her loving reply to my innocent observation, those aren't clouds, son. Those are waves. Nam Tale, the ocean. We arrived in Honolulu International Airport, and that it would be our final destination. We left our homeland of Laos after having to escape a landlocked, jungle-infested, and politically unstable country. We were refugees, and as a little boy 40 years ago, I never fully understood that moment in American history. I did not know that we were among a large influx of Southeast Asians fleeing for freedom in the aftermath of the Viet Nam War, a war that affected not only the country of Vietnam, but also its neighboring nations, Laos and Cambodia. That day we arrived, we were the new additions to America, the new faces from far-off places, and we were lucky to end up on the island of Oahu because people there were just like us, Asians! We easily fit in. There were Filipinos and Chinese, Japanese, Samoans, Hawaiians, Vietnamese, you name it in Hawaii, they had it all. What a relief for me to see such beautiful faces that I could relate to when I first arrived. See, Hawaii is different than the mainland USA. It is an island state that cannot help but stand on its own in the middle of the vast Pacific Ocean. It's a great place growing up because it never just focused on the issues of being only black and white, but instead welcomed the multi-ethnic, multicultural, multi-everything America.